Hey everyone, and welcome to our brand new shop. And because that the year is quickly approaching, we thought we should show you guys the new shop because we haven't really shown it off that much.
So quickly to give you the specs, it is 24 feet wide and 22 feet long and has approximately 13-foot ceilings. And it is a 2-car garage at my house. So as you can see, everything is pushed back against the wall and put away. And that's because we wanted to be able to still park a car in here and open all 4 doors and get out and move around. We still have plenty of space. In fact, if you really had to, you could probably squeeze 2 cars in here. You just have a tough time getting out.
And to make this space functional for us, all we have to do is pull out these 2 workbenches and we're ready to go.
For the vast majority of projects we have, we don't feel it necessary to fully have a miter saw set up and ready to go. A lot of times we can handle it on the table saw or some other saw. And so we don't feel it necessary to have it set up all the time, but it is still really easy to get out and fully set up.
So our stand stays underneath this workbench, and then our saw stays underneath that one, and our fast cap rail system stays on our wood racks.
Watch how easy it is for us to set it up. So that pretty much does it for our miter saw station. Very simple, very easy to set up and stores away really nicely. We have the best fence system and the chop saw hood from Fast Cap. There's actually another side that goes on this side of the saw. We don't always use that because we just don't feel it's necessary, but this is a wonderful setup for a small shop.
So we're going to start in this corner of our shop, and before I get to the tool wall, I'm going to start with this. This is our Rockler T-track table. And we put some plywood on the bottom and the sides to create a shelf. And on this side, we have our magnetic strips that we love so much to have all these things out so we don't have to dig for them when we need them. And this is our bench cookie set for the T-track table. And on this side, this is where we keep our Allen wrenches, and we put another magnetic strip to house some more things. And then here we have our bins with all of our screws in it. This is all of our T-track accessories and fasteners and just random things there. And now for the tool wall.
So moving up to the tool wall, over on this side we have all of our hand planes, and they're stored in a pretty creative way. We have a magnetic strip that runs across the top, and then these little stops that just keep them from sliding down over time and falling off the magnetic strip. We also have all of our block planes and specialty planes on another magnetic strip, and above them we have our straight edges. And above that, we have a shelf that runs the full length of the tool wall, which holds all of our tool cases, some of which have our tools in them and some of which don't. A lot of our air tools are actually stored up there, and we can walk up the stairs and grab them off. It's pretty convenient. Right through here, through the middle, we have just a small little shelf where we like to put our phones and a speaker when we're listening to music in the shop. We actually have this really cool holder for pliers or screwdrivers here that came from the dollar store. We have some more magnetic strips up here which hold a lot of our measuring utensils. Above that we have our squares. Below those we have our chisels and mallets and hammers, and they're just put on these cool little cleat system where they just come right off. Here is a 24-inch level, and then we've got our 48-inch level over here in the corner. Down below we have another magnetic strip which holds just miscellaneous stuff here. Got a couple hand saws, and then over here we just have a simple shelving system that holds a lot of our power tools that we grab frequently. The whole idea behind this tool wall was just as simple as possible. Right here we have a metal clip. You can get these from Rockler. They just hold your tape measures, or in our case we've got some magnetic lights that stick on there as well.
So below our tool wall we have all of our smaller clamps, and they hang on these metal racks from Rockler. And then over here we have all of our spring clamps, which hang just like a regular clamp, so they're easy to come off and put back.
So moving down the wall, we have our older Delta bandsaw as well as our really old Rockwell Delta drill press. We also have a shop vac hanging on the wall here, and probably my most favorite part about the shop, in the middle. So we came up with this solution just in this new shop. We've never done it before, but it's worked out really, really well. So basically we have a whole bunch of magnetic strips hanging on this piece of plywood, and we're able to store everything from our drill bits to our router bits. Starting at the bottom, we have all the driver bits, then we have some countersink bits, then our twist bits, Forstner bits, router bits, more router bits, hole saws. Everything you need is on this wall and easily accessible and very, very easy to put back. So you take a drill bit off, you use it in the drill press. You put the drill bit back, and it's there, no sawdust gathers in it, it's amazing. Directly below that, we just have some crates with some random stuff in it, a little bit of frequently used finishes, some chargers on top of that, and some extra glue down here. Before I talk about the lathe station, I want to briefly note that our larger pipe clamps and Surefoot clamps are over here on the wall next to it. They're also hanging on those metal racks that we used underneath the tool wall. So the lathe is actually sitting on one of Rockler's customizable stands, and that's pretty much what we've used throughout the shop. These things are wonderful. They're basically just the metal part. We put the pine butcher block top on the top of it, as well as some 3/4 inch plywood down below. And we've also used that space to store a lot of our frequently used goods down there. So moving on to the lathe, we have the mini Excelsior lathe with the lathe extension. We use Rockler's carbide tools, and we're really new to turning. These have worked out great for us. We definitely want to get a bigger lathe in the future, but so far we have loved using this thing. Directly next to the lathe is our sharpening station. Now, as far as sharpening goes, we use diamond plates. We use a 300, a 600, and a 1200, and then we hone with a bit of rubbing compound on a leather strop. I'll leave a link down below or in the article explaining the process we use. And yeah, above the lathe is another tool wall, very similar to the one over there. We've got a magnetic strip. We haven't even come close to filling it up yet because we're not sure what we want to do. We've also got our chuck way over here in the corner. It's just sitting on a piece of dowel. So that pretty much wraps it up for the lathe station.
Over here is our wood rack. We decided to go with this pre-made solution, and we'll leave the link to where we got it in the article below. Over here we stored the wood that we're using on our current projects and maybe some past projects, but not a lot. And we also store our track saw tracks and the majority of our power cords.
So over here against the wall is a piece of foam that we generally like to set on top of the workbench whenever we're using our track saw. Now this is our older Craftsman table saw. We did a full restore on this, added a new fence, took it completely apart, re-greased everything, painted it, yada, yada, yada. It has been an absolute dream to use compared to the other saws that we've had in our shop. Very excited about that. We also put it on one of Rockler's heavy duty mobile bases, and that thing has been killer because before we've had to lift the thing up and walk it around the shop. Now we can easily move it around anywhere we want. We also put the diaper bag on there, and it's actually worked really, really well and was easy to install. Directly behind the table saw is another one of those customizable stands. This is a 36 by 60 inch stand, and we put another 3/4 inch butcher block top on that, and that works as our outfeed table as well as some extra storage underneath. So finally, over here in the last corner of the shop is where we keep all of our dust collection system as well as our Rockler router table. This rarely gets used, but when we do, we just pull it out and it's really convenient. It also stays out of the way and is just about the right height as another outfeed table, so it works out perfectly. Now, as far as outfeed goes, I didn't really mention this. We've got this saw set up to where it does not move as well as the outfeed table. And basically it squeezes right outside the door if you ever have to do anything too long. Right now we can rip full 8-foot sheets of anything, so we're good to go. So moving on to the dust collection system we have in our shop. So right here is the Dust Right wall mount with the canister filter dust collector. So we got rid of our older Harbor Freight one. It was just this big massive roll around one. It worked great for our older shop, but here real estate is a premium. So we were able to mount this thing up high and get it completely out of the way. So it also has this great little handle where you can clean the filter, which is nice. Down below here, we have the separator. I'm actually kind of thinking about hooking it up to this. I'll let you know if that works out. I've tested it and it worked okay. I haven't had it long-term hooked up, but we'll try that. That's more for a shop vac. Over here is the central vac for the house. That has nothing to do with the shop. We also have all of our accessories on these great little metal mounts. They just clip in there, as well as I believe a 50-foot hose or something like that here, and it's got another clip. So basically we can take this around the entire shop and clean up. That was a must for us and has been absolutely wonderful. Also, one last thing to note about our dust collection system is we have this little remote that turns it on and off. If you're interested in doing something like that with your dust collection, I'll leave a link to the product we use below because it's only like 10 bucks. It's not actually meant for this application, but it's worked out great for us.
So now moving on to the center of our workshop with our workbenches. And before I talk about that, we know we're in different clothes. This video was supposed to go up yesterday, but my microphone crapped out, so we're gonna have to film the rest of the videos right now. And we only have one microphone, so he's probably not gonna talk right now. Okay. So these are the customizable workbenches from Rockler. They are 4 foot by 4 foot. We put an 1.5 inch butcher block top on it and with the same plywood on the bottom.
So one thing we definitely couldn't live without that we had at the old shop was a full 4x8 workbench. It's just so nice to have a surface that you can work on and build anything you really need to up off the ground. So the way we accomplished that in this small of a shop was by taking these two customizable stands and pushing them together. So like Molly said, they're 4 foot by 4 foot. When pushed together, they're 4x8. It also gives you a tremendous amount of flexibility because they are both on casters. One can be in one place in the shop and the other one could be in the other place. And they could be being used for different tasks or come together and build a giant dining table on top of them. So we are definitely really enjoying these. So prior to moving everything into the shop, we went ahead and epoxy painted the floors as well as repainted all of the walls. And probably the coolest thing we did was we added 6 4,400 lumen LED lights to give us plenty of light in our shop for filming and all that sort of stuff. We also, while we're on the subject of the ceiling, we added this really cool pull down extension cord, and it is so amazing because it's right above our two workbenches. We can plug anything into it and no cords hit the floor. It's absolutely amazing.
So many people have been asking if we regret downsizing from a 1,000 square foot shop to a 500 square foot shop, and we really don't. The main reason is because this place is so much smaller, it's so much easier to clean. In fact, we can clean just about every surface in here in under 30 minutes. Another good reason about being here is that we are rent-free, and it allows us to do all of this full time. Also, we haven't really noticed much of a difference because we can do everything we could do at the old shop here.
Well guys, that's going to do it for this year in this shop tour. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Also go check out our article over on our website. There'll be a link in the description below. There you can find all the details about everything we talked about in this video. And yeah, we're just so excited to see what 2017 has in store for us in this channel, in this community, because 2016 was absolutely amazing. We met so many amazing people, and yeah, it was awesome.
We want to thank everyone for all of you guys' support and welcoming us into this amazing community. We really couldn't have done it without you guys. We also put out a second video today, so if you want to go check that out, it is right here. See you guys in that video.